but it was just ethnic cleansing from the start.
That's Hasan Piker on Pod Save America, giving his take on Israel's early history. And then he brings in Albert Einstein.
And my assessment on Zionism as an ideology is not that different from Albert Einstein's, because when he saw Deir Yassin and the violence that the early Zionist brigades were engaging in before the IDF existed, before Israel existed, he wrote about what Zionism was turning into. And he warned that what he was seeing was exactly what the Nazis were doing. He said, if we do not have a commitment to binationalism, if we do not have a commitment to the people that are already living there, the atrocities that I'm seeing, that is going to turn into exactly what the Nazis have done. And he was right.
On the surface, this sounds authoritative, right? Einstein, a person who embodied intellect and conscience in a single human being. And Piker is saying, I basically agree with Einstein on this. Let's start with what Piker gets partially right. Einstein did have real reservations about aspects of Zionist politics. He was deeply troubled by right-wing Zionist movements, especially the Irgun. He had serious problems with Menachem Begin, and Einstein, before Israel was established, had advocated for a binational solution, a single shared state for Jews and Arabs. So Piker isn't inventing Einstein out of whole cloth, but what he leaves out is the full story. In 1921, Einstein traveled to America with Chaim Weizmann, the head of the World Zionist Organization, on a fundraising tour. He raised money for the Hebrew University across the United States. In 1923, Einstein visited Mandatory Palestine and delivered one of the inaugural lectures at Hebrew University in Jerusalem. He spoke a bit clumsily in heavily German-accented Hebrew. He wrote afterwards that his heart was, quote, warmed by the dream and idea of a Jewish state. In 1947, just a year before Israel was founded, he wrote to Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, trying to persuade him to support the Zionist movement. This is what he wrote. Long before the emergency of Hitler, I made the cause of Zionism mine because through it, I saw a means of correcting a flagrant wrong. Long before Hitler, let that sink in. In 1951, he hosted David Ben-Gurion, Israel's founding prime minister, at his home in Princeton. And in 1952, when Weizmann died, Ben-Gurion offered Einstein the presidency of Israel. Einstein declined, not because of any political reasons, but because, in his own words, he, quote, lacked both the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people and to exercise official functions, which is a polite way of saying, I can explain the cosmos, but I do not want to chair the meeting. He also said explicitly that he was, quote, deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel. Our state of Israel. And one final striking detail. At the time of his death in April of 1955, Einstein was preparing to deliver a speech marking the 7th anniversary of Israel's founding. He died before he could give it. His final draft contained these words: international policies of the Middle East should be dominated by efforts to secure peace for Israel and its neighbors. He died preparing to celebrate Israel. That is the full picture. His position, as positions often do, updated when reality changed.
If you want to get the full story, check out Unpacking Israeli History, link in the bio.